Max was worried. He lay awake that night thinking. He couldn't sleep.
What was Max so worried about?
Well, let's go back to earlier that morning to find out. That morning, Max woke up and read his Bible. He read in Psalm 100, "For the Lord is good, his mercy is everlasting, and his truth endures to all generations." Then Max went to get ready for the day. He was excited because he and his friend Jake were going to play at the park. As he was walking through his room, which he hadn't cleaned recently, he stepped on a Lego. Ouch! But he wasn't going to let that stop him. Max was about to leave for the park when he heard something. Oh no, it was raining, but maybe it would stop soon, and they could go play after the rain. So Max waited, and waited, and waited. He heard his mom's phone ring, but didn't think too much about it. Max looked out the window. The rain was starting to clear up, but then his mom came and told him Jake's mom had called. Jake was sick and couldn't play today. That night, Max lay awake. He didn't understand. He had read that morning that God was good, but how could he be good if everything was going wrong? Then Max worried, what if God had changed? Or maybe he was good to some people, but not to him. Max's brother Zach noticed he wasn't sleeping and asked what was the matter. Max told Zach that everything seemed to go wrong that day, and he didn't think God was still good. But then Zach explained something to Max. Do you know what it was?
I know! I have something to show you!
Wait, but the story...
Don't worry, we'll get back to it. Max was worried that God had changed. There are lots of things that change. I have a few things in my toy box. First, I have a smiley face. That's because your emotions can change. Sometimes you might feel happy, but sometimes you might feel sad or angry or disappointed. Next, I have an umbrella. Another thing that changes is the weather. That's what happened to Max. So, if you don't want to get caught in the rain, you might want to bring an umbrella everywhere you go. What else can change? Well, let's see. It's a mirror. And that's because your looks can change. Wow, I'm so beautiful. Let's see what else I have. It's a map. Maybe you've had to move before. Or maybe you will move someday. Where you live can change.
And sometimes people go off script and the video changes.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. So, lots of things change. But does God change? Let's see what God says in His Word, the Bible. God says in Malachi 3:6, "For I am the Lord, I do not change." Wow. So God doesn't change ever. He always stays the same. Ooh, I think I have something in my box to help us understand this. It's like if I have this Play-Doh and this rock. I can change the Play-Doh into lots of things, like this, or even this. Like this Play-Doh, lots of things can change. But what about this rock? Unlike the Play-Doh, I can't change it into something else. I can push the rock really hard. And it doesn't change, no matter how hard I push. And just like this rock doesn't change, God doesn't change either. So, when the Bible says that there are different things that God is, like good, loving, just, merciful, or all-powerful, you can know that God will never stop being any of those things. That's who He is, and He will never change. Now, back to the story.
Zach explained to Max that he didn't need to worry because God is always good. He never changes. And sometimes bad things happen because the world is messed up by sin. But even then, God promises to use those bad things for good. Max was relieved. He didn't have to worry about God ever changing. Even when things in life weren't going how he thought they should, he could remember that God is still good. And you can remember that too, because God isn't just good for Max. He's good to you, and He never changes.